This one goes to all the artists out there, all the mystics, all the magicians, all the ones that never belonged into the artificial world, because you always felt there's something different about you. So your energy was so different, you just couldn't find yourself in the noises of the lost ones. Leonardo da Vinci said, "If you're alone, you're completely yours. If you're accompanied by even one person, you're only half yours." And what he meant by that was that we are like portals. You know, an artist is not really creating a work. He opens up so the work can happen through him. A musician is not really creating music. He opens up and just creates it through him or her. And I am an artist. I am a painter. You can find paintings behind me. I found out that even though I love company and I love to be surrounded by people, obviously, sometimes. What I love more is really creating. Like putting my ego aside and just open up to what is coming through me. And many times when people start opening up to it, when people start waking up to it, like when I've started discovering that I truly want to do art, they cut the world from them. Because at the beginning it's very gentle, it's very subtle. So you may find yourself having 0 friends and being alone. You must know that that's how it's supposed to be. For some of you, you're like, for your whole life you feel like that. The thing is, your frequency is so different, and therefore your reality is so different. You operate on a maybe different level, and most people don't understand you for that. Maybe many people just can't resonate with you, and so you can't resonate with them. And it's one of great reasons why you find yourself alone, right? So what I found out, many artists are dealing with depression. But at the same time, when they want to be accompanied by someone, they just don't resonate with them. So they remove themselves from the world because their energy is so different, they just can't synchronize with someone else. I just found it so frequent. And what I've recognized is, this is the dark side of such a person as you. And you need to discover the bright side of you, which is a certain type of a self-expression. To have a certain type of an outlet, a medium or something where you can actually pour out everything that's happening inside of you. And you know, if you've ever seen a stuck river, let's say you would somehow stop the stream of a river, and at some point you decide to open it, what happens? Firstly, there's a lot of mud that starts going through, right? A lot of mud, a lot of dust, a lot of stuff that was, you know, stuck there. And then the water gets clean. And that's what happens to us when at some point we decide to become a creative channel for something. We start making art, and obviously at the beginning it's a bit strange, a bit dark maybe. Like many artists are making dark music, but then they shift into more positive ones. Sometimes your art may be very dark and then it shifts into more colorful one, because, well, you've healed, you've transitioned. Don't be afraid to make creations that just come through you. Don't be afraid, whatever it is. Because it just shows the reality of what you've been feeling. You shouldn't hide it from the world. It's a reflection of the world. People are afraid to show what is really going on. That's why so many people are depressed. Because other people who are also depressed are hiding that. So they're pretending and wearing masks like, hey, I'm actually okay. But you feel them. You know most people are not okay. We are living in a world where most people are actually in a deep shadow. And they are pretending to be okay. It's also one of the reasons why you rather be alone than hanging with fake ones, right? Another truth is also that the path that is yours, which is usually the path of certain type of awakening, is often a lonely path, and you've chosen it. You've chosen it because you know that's how you will discover the most of yourself. You see, one personal story here is that what I love the most about being social when I am is that I just love to observe people. I love to observe people because it shows me the unexpressed words. And that's why maybe we love to do that. I know so many people who are like artists or creators who love to observe people. Because I feel our body language tells so much more than our mouth, right? And when we observe people, we see unexpressed words, we see unexpressed language, and well, we read it. We read it because it inspires our creations, it inspires our work. Sometimes the most healing work can be the one that expresses what people are afraid to express, right? And for that, you can't truly do that if someone is constantly speaking to you. That's why so many times I love to be alone, so I don't need to talk with someone. And that's when very deep insights find me that then I can put into my work. So gratefully, while I have an incredible partner, Maya, who understands me like this, but many times I find people who have zero friends and feeling alone, being alone, because they feel like they don't know why they are so different, but they kind of like that. They kind of like that. And maybe think about if this resonates with you. Maybe you're really here to shed the illusions of reality, the illusions of kind of the spirit of society that holds on to certain ideals and beliefs that are completely, you know, never been questioned, and obviously live in fear of what if this illusions fall apart. You live beyond that, right? You live beyond these illusions because you're in tune with the truth. And well, most probably you're here to break this illusion. So most people see you as the weird one, many times as the black sheep or the one that just doesn't fit in. Well, obviously, if you look into the history, you recognize those are the people who changed everything, right? Those are the people who drive the culture forward and really make the shift in the society. So once again, what's important for all of us is to find the bright side of these qualities, of these gifts, so we can learn to embrace them, master them, and express them, right? And therefore, many times this kind of truth or requirement to be aware of the truth requires isolation often. So you don't lose it. You don't get too distanced from it. So you can hear it. You can hear the truth. It speaks to you. It's like God's voice that guides you, that speaks to you. And I just feel people who feel really lost, people who find this world a world of suffering, are people who've disconnected themselves from the truth to such a degree that they don't believe anything anymore, and they find everything meaningless. And that's why art is so healing and music is so healing, because it connects us back to it, right? And if you look into the lives of these artists, you will find out most of them are in isolation most of the time, right? And maybe that's you as well. That's why you have zero friends. That's why your whole life you've been like that. It's a very personal reflection right now, because for most of my childhood I thought there's something wrong with me, why I can't connect with others, why I don't want to talk about superficial things, and why so many things in society are so meaningless to me. So only later, when I really started following my voice and doing what was speaking to me, which is often I was doing completely different sports. I found myself in an extreme sport where I was able to express myself and I didn't need to depend on someone else, so I was very independent in it. I've noticed there's beauty. There's really beauty in this kind of an act where you can be whatever. You can be whatever, do whatever, and don't need any validation from anyone. There's such a freedom in this. So I've recognized, well, I just want to live my life like this forever. And those who will find it interesting as well, those are my people, right? Those are my people. And that's something very empowering. So sooner you embrace that, sooner you discover that, sooner you will free yourself from this kind of thinking that there's something wrong with you. Because you will notice you're quite a genius, not to make yourself superior or any of that, but just noticing your inner genius. Obviously you have something to discover, right? Each of us, each person on this world is kind of a genius. But if we fall into a trap of believing what other people are believing, we will never discover what makes us different, right? The whole point is to be different, to stand out. So you don't follow the crowd that is going potentially into a wrong direction. You find out the direction that is here for you, the path that is here for you to walk. And therefore, you're not afraid to study, to look into what you don't understand. And that makes you stand out as well, because people are afraid of what they don't understand. That's why they judge. That's why they judge everything, right? That's why they fight with those whom they don't understand, or they are envious of those who have something they don't have because they don't understand how they made it. So they are envious instead of questioning how they've done it, right? So what's interesting, people come to me and ask me how I've done what I've done. The people that come to me are those that are different. Only they come to me and ask me how I've done what I've done. Most people rather judge that or are envious about it, and they find a way to justify it so they feel better. So people are afraid of what they don't understand, and you found out you're not afraid. You love to question everything, so you're questioning everything. And you're studying what can help you to understand more of this mystery, That's what puts you apart from most people, and that's one of the reasons why you have 0 friends. That's why I call you an artist, because if you're like that, you're already an artist. Artist of this world. I really hope for you to find out what makes you thrive, to find out what makes you shine your light, because, well, it's so freeing, so liberating. And yeah, I know so many of you have found it already. Then my wish for you is to be brave and courageous enough to shine in it, to master it, and to become so good at it that the world will find it hard to ignore you. Once again, not for any egoistic reason, but to enlighten the shadows of this world, so more of this kind of lighthouses can wake up, right? Of course, each of them has a free will. We're not forcing anything. But, you know, those people who think there's something wrong with them, those will find you inspiring. They will find you inspiring, and for them, you're doing that, right? Many of you are also noticing that you see through people, right? You see through people, like I said before. And therefore your mission is so different. Your mission is so different because, well, when you see through people, you see their flaws, their errors, and their potential. And therefore your work and what you've come here to master will always speak to their potential. It will always speak to their potential, and people will think you're too deep for them or you're too mystical for them because of that. Like sometimes when I'm also doing coaching, and sometimes when I talk with people and they share with me their life story, I start laughing at them. Not because I'm laughing at them, but I always see the potential into what their lives could evolve, into what they could evolve. And then they're like, how did you know all of that? I just see it inside of you. In everyone I see this potential. I am just like that, and I'm sure you are too. That's why so many people just can't hang with you. Because it's just different energy. And that's why many of you may find yourself being alone, or maybe having 0 friends, because most people don't understand you. Eventually you will meet the right ones. You will meet your people. You will. But as I said, you must find the bright side of you and really make it shine. Make it shine. So one story is when I found out for myself that I am an artist, that I must express my visions, what I see in my mind's eye, I must express it. It comes to me for a reason. I must express it. When I've started doing that, when I've started really exposing myself, my work, my art, making videos, all of that, I've started meeting very, very interesting people that were aligned with me. And those are people I call now real friends, real good friends. I don't have many of them, but the ones that I have are very, very important to me. So I've recognized that before you meet the right people, you must meet yourself. And once you meet yourself, you will learn why you're here. And once you learn why you're here, you will have a period of solitude so you can really master the craft. Or you will not master the craft, but you can initiate. Yes, initiate is a better word. You can initiate the work, the craft. The alchemists call it the great work, the magnum opus. Whatever it is for you that will make you the philosopher's stone, right? Whatever that means for you, a certain type of a mastery, the consistent becoming of what you can be, embodying the potential that lives in your heart. And this is the phase of solitude for many of us, until we start shining in that work. And then we must be brave enough, you must be brave enough to expose yourself in it. Because that work was not here for you. That doing is not here for you. It is for the world. It came through you. Life blessed you with a gift, so you can share it with the world. And once you start sharing it with the world will reward you for that. And that's where you will open up to abundance that will come to you as a reward for your bravery, for your courage, for you being so different. That's why it is a blessing. So if you find yourself like your whole life you've been having zero friends, hard to fit in, and you never really understood why you are this way, it's a blessing. But you must find the bright side of this kind of... You must find the bright side of it. Once you find it, not that it will be easy. I know for me on the it takes so many struggles and challenges. So many, because no one really can give you an advice. Even if you go into a business where you open a store and you start sharing your work and you don't know how to do it. Even with most of advice you find out there on marketing and all of this doesn't resonate with you. So you kind of need to find your own way, and it's all a bit challenging. That's why you have to have trust in what your heart says, because, well, the right things always work. I found out when I started this YouTube channel. I was listening some people how I should do it, and it was so boring. I say I will find my own way, and then I found it. Same with art. You find your own way. Sure, study everything that feels interesting to you and has a potential option that could work for you. Study everything. But most probably it's just what I've experienced is that at some point I found my own way. And that's the beauty and the struggle many times. So if you find yourself having zero friends, being alone, most probably this is you. You can call it the chosen one, the different one, the artist, the mystic, the black sheep. However you want to call yourself, know there's something special about you. And my wish for you is to find that bright side of you and make it glow, make it shine, master the craft, and be courageous enough to share it with the world. Yes, do that, my friend. I will leave you here. I hope you found great value today. I'm sending you lots of love, blessings, and power. Thanks to all of you for choosing to support my art in our store, AttractPassion.com, where you will find all of my paintings, prints of my paintings, and so much more. Go and check it out. And also thanks to everyone for joining our Patreon community for more content. Check it out, and till next time, one love.